Hi, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the TBK podcast. I'm your host, David, and today I've got with me Tunde, and we're going to belatedly discuss the Lomachenko Nakatani fight from Saturday night or Sunday morning. So, yeah, T, if you can give me your thoughts on how you felt this fight went.
The fight was a good fight. Loma did what Loma does, albeit he did it quickly. He was on Nakatani like white on rice from the first round. Didn't give him any space, any time. Nullified his reach and height advantage. Completely dominated Nakatani. I didn't give him a round, to be honest. Loma did what Loma has been doing for his previous fights, apart from the Teofimo one. It was a good fight. Like we saw a very dangerous Loma, a Loma full of intent. Like I said, they just didn't let Nakatani rest, didn't let him set anything at all. Like he was just, and his movement was exquisite in parts where Nakatani didn't even know where the punches were coming from.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was quite a few good moments in the fight, and he dealt with Nakatani dealt with him properly. So it was a good fight, it was a good performance. My thing is, I would like to see the rematch with Teofimo. That would give me like a gauge of where Loma really is in terms of whether he can, beat Teofimo in the next fight.
I guess also that will tell us exactly how much he's improved or changed from the first fight as well, right?
Yeah, and it's funny that he has been so ungracious with regards to, the results of that fight with Teofimo. He didn't accept the results at all. He's watched the fight numerous times. People have told him numerous times that he clearly lost the fight. He's not taken any of that on board. But it's interesting that despite him not accepting that, he was out of the trap very early.
Yeah.
With the Nakatani fight. Literally from the opening bell, he was just on man. Like, did not let him rest at all. So there's obvious adjustments he's made.
Yeah, but do you think, though, the reason why he made those adjustments, and part of the reason why I guess he was able to jump on Nakatani so quickly, is probably because Teofimo's power, as we know, is quite underrated, and it's quite clear that the guy can hit and hit very well, as we saw when he won the IBF belt from Richard Cumming in the first place. Do you think maybe he was a little bit fearful of Teo's power and didn't quite know how to negotiate that at first?
That's a very good point. David Hayes said something a couple of years ago, I think, and he said one of the first things that he would do was hit his opponent in the opening round as hard as he could. So that opponent knew that, like, wow, this guy's got power. I need to be careful about how I navigate this. And I think there's an element of that in there where he's tasted the power and he's thought he can't do what he would usually do in terms of getting up and close in regards to his movement and stuff. So there might be an element of that. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, because I felt that considering that he was adamant that he never lost the first fight. Initially he won it. Now he thinks it's a draw. But at no stage did he seem to show that there was anything they needed to change. Yet still we saw 100% improvement. We saw a whole different attitude from him in this fight. And we also saw him just take away everything Nakatani potentially had in his favor, particularly his height and his reach. And I think that comes down to him having a point to prove, especially to Teofimo, because in the wake of the defeat, his aura of invincibility is slightly been shattered, even though he had a defeat on his record prior.
I think, when you think back to his previous opponents, I mean, Linares can hit. Indeed, he knocked him down.
Yeah.
I can't remember what round, but he knocked him down.
Yeah. Campbell hurt him also.
Campbell hurt him. Nicholas Walters, he wasn't somebody he was someone who's noted for his power. He totally negated that.
With that said, he fought against Nicholas Walters at, 135?
Yeah.
And Nicholas Walters is a 126 fighter, no?
Then, some fighters aren't able to bring their power with them when they go up.
I understand that, but I think the point that I was making more was that if you look at it, this is probably the best he's looked against a 135 opponent in a while. But if you look at Linares, you look at Campbell, they were 135 opponents also, and he didn't look so good against those guys, whereas the guys before them two, all of them came up to fight him, and as we know, he made them all quit. But I think that comes down to the fact that he also had a size advantage over those guys. I think that's quite important as well.
Yeah, definitely over Rigondeaux.
100% over Rigondeaux.
That was a mismatch as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, completely. And yet, all right, yeah, he's made those guys quit and what have you, but each one of them had to come up to fight him. I do believe that with Tio being quite big at the weight, because I think Tio could pretty easily go to 140 in this fight as well. And I do believe the impact of his game plan and his sheer speed, power and speed even played their part. On that though, I'd like to get your thoughts on whether or not, all right, let me correct this right. I'd like to get your thoughts on who he fights if not Teofimo again, although we saw Teofimo Sr. and Bob Arum pretty much shake hands on the rematch. If he doesn't get that fight, who would you like to see him fight again? Or
Haney, that would be a good fight.
Yeah.
That would be a very good fight.
Again though, the fact that he gave up the WBC belt prior to losing against Teofimo, do we really think we're going to see that fight?
That's the thing. I think we could see that fight, to be honest. Arum has quite a lot of influence.
He does, but I mean, again, to show a bit of a lack of grace on Lomachenko's part, prior to Saturday night, he actually said that Teofimo is undisputed. And we know that he gave up the WBC title to get the franchise belt. So, if he were to Teofimo match, that he's probably not going to fight Devin Haney because he might feel as though he doesn't have to, being as he will class himself as the undisputed champion.
The way that Loma has come through, like how many fights has he had now? Is it 16?
I think this was his 17th fight.
17?
Yeah.
Right. He's a free weight champion?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Free weight champion. So he's doing the legacy thing. So because of that, he'll probably fight, the Haney's, the Garcias, whoever's there that needs to be fought, he'll probably do it, to be honest. He's doing it for legacy. He's not doing it for anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to agree. And I would have agreed with you prior to the fact that he ducked, or appeared to have ducked Haney for that fight. The fact that he gave up the WBC belt in order to, I guess in many ways not deviate from his own path.
Yeah, I think it's more a case of him doing what is best for him as opposed to avoiding a fighter.
Right.
And I think it's more like, obviously with boxing there's murky politics and stuff. He's never avoided anybody else. So there must be a different reason as to why that happened. And I don't think it's a case of him, being afraid of any fighter, to be honest.
Yeah, as long as you're sure, because I know you're going to get the tank outs out there saying that he avoided tank, man. Someone out there saying he avoided tank, bro. You know what
I mean? Do you know what? I don't know. I mean, tank is an anomaly.
In what way? In what way? Expand on that for me.
I've not seen someone that size, just bulldoze opponents the way that he's been doing. And the thing is, for someone of his size as well to carry the power that he has, I still can't get over what he did to Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah, I mean that. You're going to get your haters talking about Santa Cruz being at the lighter weight, but forget all of that. It was a skilled practitioner, a recognized true top fighter. That finish was destructive. Punch perfect, picture perfect. It was just perfect.
24 out of 25 knockouts. Those are heavyweight statistics.
Yeah, those are heavyweight statistics.
Those are heavyweight statistics. Like that's madness.
And the thing is, the fact that Loma is susceptible to a shot or can get put down, as we saw Linares do. Again, I don't think he ducked tank myself, if I'm totally honest with you. However, it's fun to speculate on just because they haven't fought us yet, and we can't be sure if we'll ever see the fight. So I guess knowing that we want to see them fight, we'll always speculate.
Yeah, that is a fight that I would love to see. And if Tank was still at 135, then that's the first name above Haney that I would have said.
Well, hopefully he goes back down to 135, because if you think about it, I mean, the last one fight at 135, he actually made weight, although this weekend. So, hopefully there's still a future for him at 135, and he makes the fights that we want to see as the fans. But yeah, you know what? All right, I know we could go into a bit more, but I think that would be a good point to kind of end this one on. So, cheers for your input, bro. And thanks for listening, guys. This has been, once again, the TBK podcast with myself, David, and Tunde. And we're out. And this is the TBK podcast.